Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Sorry, we had a little bit of a slow start. But it is Monday, and you know what that means? It's time to stream. It's time for Hellions. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Hello. Yeah. Hi. And thank
When
you to
you
all
when
the
you swapped over, I was gonna make a big fart noise and then I chickened out. That's why I'm so
ah
quiet.
next
I
time.
It's
was
the
Next
kind of
gas.
time.
decided to just
It's
like
the
go for
gas
it.
from eating stones. It's all that gassy.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah, your tummy can't be feeling great right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have hella heartburn.
Bro.
That's it, just bro.
Just bro, there's no follow up. Anyway, sorry, you were about to like do a nice thing and say a nice thing.
Nah.
So go for
Nah, it's fine.
it. Thank you to no one.
Thank you to
Moving
no
on.
one. No one at all. No, but thank you to the people who came in this morning and followed and resubbed. That's real sweet. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for dropping a little Duke fart in chat. Very timely. But yes, I'm Nick. We are the Hellions, as it were. And we are a live play or a live actual play Theater of Mind D&D stream. Eventually, we're gonna do something a little different today. But before we start doing different things, do we have any announcements today?
Yes,
Yay!
tomorrow is the most sacred holiday in the entire calendar, for it is Nedmas.
It is Nedmas. Merry
Yeah.
Nedmas.
Hey,
So
Merry
and the universe is celebrating by having a blood moon eclipse, and who knows what my powers will be tomorrow. So
Oh.
yes,
Well,
but
it's a good thing that we're playing Hellions today because tomorrow you may be too powerful to engage with
yeah,
D&D.
powerful, too powerful.
Too powerful for D&D.
Never too powerful for D&D. Just busy with Nedmas.
Yeah. Yeah, other than Nedmas, are there any other exciting announcements? Or boring announcements, really?
I'll be at Birmingham MCM this weekend.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I didn't
so
even know that.
it's because I've not been talking about it. If you're in the
Mm.
UK, specifically somewhere towards the Midlands, you might want to find yourself at the Birmingham NEC over the weekend, in which case I will be there too. How strange, how wonderful, what a coincidence. I will be tabling at MCM in their artist alley, and I will also be doing a live draw on Friday if you wanted to come along and say hi.
Oh, cool.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, very cool. I don't have an
Nice.
announcement, but I have a thing.
Yeah.
Uh, People need to go out and vote tomorrow. If you're in
Heck
the
yeah.
US, fucking do it. Don't fuck around. We
Yeah.
don't need to lose Congress right now.
We don't need to find out. We need you to turn out. That's it. That's the slogan. Print it.
I love it. We love to see
Go.
it.
Like exercise your right to vote.
Yes.
We
Yes.
encourage healthy engagement with politics.
You also don't get to complain if you can vote and you didn't go.
That's
You're
very
banned
fair.
from complaining.
Yeah, I am not American and did not realize that that's what was happening tomorrow.
It is tomorrow, yeah, and so
I have been seeing a lot of people with I voted stickers on their noses.
This is true. I have
Good.
been seeing a lot of people with I voted stickers for me to not question it. But
I just
perhaps
realized,
I
like,
thought it had already happened.
The 2016 one.
Yeah,
mm,
you know? But yes. Okay, good. Very good announcement. Not exciting, but definitely necessary. Or maybe exciting. Could be exciting.
I don't know if it's the
Um,
first time. You should. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
it.
it is. It is. Well, with that out of the way, then, do we wanna do our intros with our questions?
Sure.
Me.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll go through. We'll start with Babs and do some intros. And our question today is if you were left, or no, sorry, if aliens landed on Earth tomorrow and offered to take you home with them, would you go?
Yes, 100%. Noelani would willingly go with the aliens. Just to change notes.
I feel like
Um,
anybody who knows me is gonna say yes. But
Oh yeah.
But hi everybody, I'm Babs. You can find me online at Mustache Babs. And you can find me here playing Noelani, the warlock rogue water druid, water genasi, not druid. Oh gosh.
Too many shenanigans if there were two druids.
Yeah,
Oh,
that would be
God.
too much.
Every animal you would assume is like
Unless-
one of your friends.
Unless-
Yeah, literally. Every animal we poke, like, are you?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
At
Yeah,
least all of Ned's or
you'd probably get more plot that way.
all of Monty's are red, so you can kind of like guess.
Oh,
It's like,
oh, Lonnie's would be blue.
oh,
that'd be really cute. Oh, I'm about to tangent again, but in my pushes up glasses podcast D&D, which is another thing I do. Our druid is effectively a Pokemon trainer at this point. He has like
Meh.
6 pets. It's
Nice.
too
Oh
my
many.
God.
It's too many animals, and they're just always. We always have to be like, well, what's this one doing, DM? And he's like, oh my god.
A whole circus.
Exactly.
is this the ghillie suit person?
Yeah, it's the ghillie suit person. They all live in the suit. They live in the suit.
Oh my god.
I want you to know, I saw the art and was very confused. Like, what is that? What is that?
He's an Ant-Man. He just wears a big old bush. It makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense, actually.
Uh-huh.
The more things that our necromancer gets in my other game, the more the DM has to be like, wait, is this skeleton out right now?
Right?
Yeah, it's good.
Anyway,
I
good
love
vibes.
how you
good
laughed
vibes.
at pain. Also, if you can hear Lottie purring right now, I'm very sorry.
We cannot, and I regret to say we cannot.
I'm very
Yes, I was
sad that
gonna
I
say,
can't hear her.
It would, I'm sure, be comforting if we could.
Indeed.
Hey, would Monty go with
Oh
aliens?
yeah.
Yeah.
Monty. Sorry, I woke up at 5 a.m. and have gotten back to my swimming routine, so Monty is not brain. Anyways, hi, I'm Ned. You can find me on the internet as at Ned Lazarus Wolf. That now includes Tumblr. And yeah, I play Monty, who is our half elf rogue / druid hybrid, who is a piece of shit, or was a piece of shit. It's still it remains undeterminable. And yeah, so if aliens came, Monty would absolutely go with them because why not?
It's a fair reason.
He spent his entire childhood with talking to like 5 people. He'd love the opportunity to like go elsewhere and never
Yeah.
see his father again.
Yeah, that's very good. I guess it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Danny. I play Yenna. She's a gnome-shaped tiefling. She's a little wizard and a barbarian. Mostly as a personality trait. And yeah. Apparently was just having a tantrum, so we'll see how that goes.
You were just sad.
We're just
Very
Very sad
sad.
when we
Very
came out.
sad.
All your
Look, a
people
lot
were
was
in it.
happening. No one would blame you.
That describes like the whole semester so far.
Yeah,
That's
that's
just
aliens.
all of us. A lot was happening and no one
We
would
were
blame
sad.
you.
As far as aliens, I don't know. Probably it depends. Like, I don't think she would go if there was like a absolutely never going to return quality to it. I think she would want the option to come home. But if for like a jaunt around the galaxy, yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, that's sort of how I feel about Yulie. Hi, I'm Dodger. I play Yulie. And she's super anxious. So there's like two wolves in Yulie, you know? There's like
And they're
there's
both
the
screaming.
they're both screaming all the time. One of them's screaming about conspiracy theories and needs to know what's going on, and the other one is desperately trying to keep her alive and telling her to run away. So I feel like it would kind of depend, but the big determining factor would be like, does she know for sure she can get back? And if not, then it might be enough to satiate her to just know that aliens exist, you know? Like to just move on in life with that information. That might be enough. She might be good with that.
I fully thought that you were going to say the one question that she has is, are they hot? And then I realized, hey, just be Monty's question.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not a Yulie question, but I think that's a Monty question.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I feel like Tink's in a very very similar boat where initially he would be like, yes, absolutely, and then be like, wait, no, not at all.
Never mind.
Yeah, never mind. But yes, and I like how none of us waited to answer the question this week. We were all just like, let me jump in there.
I have nothing
Let
else
me
to
tell
say.
you my character's headcanon on how they would go with aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of our characters have a lot of opinions about aliens, apparently.
I
But
mean, yeah.
yeah.
Look at us.
Yeah. Look at us. Sorry, a full TikTok sound just played in my head. I'm Nick. I'm playing Tink. He is a high elf artificer cleric. He's a good boy who's never done anything wrong, except for maybe everything. And yeah, also just very high anxiety. And I think in his head, he'd be totally like, yeah, let's just go. Let's just go. Fuck this place. This sucks. Even without like the time loop, you know, like that whole thing.
What
And
point do you
then,
think he would be? No, I realize this is a mistake.
pardon.
Like, would he be on the ship already?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is he might be like on the ship. I kind of feel like if it was a Doctor Who like situation where it's like you might die but you'll come back, he'd be like, yeah, okay. And no one will notice I was gone. Absolutely. But if it was for like oh yeah, we're just gonna go to space, he'd like get on the ship and then be like, wait, I can't, I gotta stay here. Just like get cold feet.
There might also be an element with Tink of like, could I figure out how to get to space by myself?
Yeah, right. He'd be like,
Could I
Is this
just
a
do
I
this
could go
challenge?
to
later, maybe?
space. Yeah. Now
It's
that
like,
I
I'm
know
not
that
gonna
it's
go,
possible, I can probably.
But I'll
just
meet you
do
on the
that.
moon.
Yeah. Maybe try and steal some tech on the way out. And then get himself kidnapped and murdered by aliens anyway, who knows? So
Yeah. I like how none of us are freaked out by the idea of aliens. We're just like very much like, yeah, fucking cool.
oh yeah, absolutely. We'd all be like, fuck yes.
Not the
aliens.
weirdest thing that's happened to this cast.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah.
legitimately
They'd
true.
probably be like, finally, a normal day at school.
Oh my god. I wish it weren't true, but it might just be.
Also, how do we know that Balthazar and company are just not aliens? Like, how do we know that we just haven't met aliens in campaign already?
This is very true.
I mean,
Amendment to the Balthazar is a dragon theory. Balthazar is an alien.
what if the dragons are aliens?
Yeah.
Dragons are aliens.
Oh my god.
Balthazar is an alien. See, this is only all just fitting with everything that I know about our lovely DM. Who would you like to introduce yourself as well?
The only thing I want to say at the moment is just everybody who likes Mass Effect should go and look at the post that BioWare just
Oh
made
my
for
God.
N7 Day. Human relay, tiny Normandy.
Val's been having trouble being outside of Mass Effect brain for a little bit.
It's very exciting.
Yeah. No, it absolutely is.
As a legitimate intro, though, hello, I am Doodle. You can find me most places as Doodle. Or just Taylor Arts. Either
Yeah.
of those will do.
Mhm.
And I cause problems for this lot. There we go. That's it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You do.
Accurate. Aliens? Yes or no?
Who, me or an NPC? Because if
Uh,
it's me, the answer is yes. Immediately beam me the fuck up, Scotty.
Yeah, we know you
Oh, yeah, we know
personally.
that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I had to make sure.
Yeah. And same for the record. If I ever
Yeah, no-
disappear without notice, please assume it was aliens.
Yeah.
God.
Don't just assume. Assume and then prove it was.
Yeah, know it
Yeah.
was, and then crack the code.
I feel like I'm too much of a nester, dude.
About this
Yeah.
camp.
You,
I
you
could nest in space. Like, I'm sure that there's something like Target in space.
Listen,
Find
wouldn't
it.
you like to
Target.
Target?
You think Target is the thing keeping me on this planet?
I'm just saying, you find yourself a cozy spaceship, you go to the alien Target, you buy a couple nice things,
If they want to
you
come
take a
to
chicken or two.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they want to come to my cozy little homestead and be like, "Hey, you could have this, but like with weird bioluminescent trees and shit," I'd be like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah.
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 I just
But if it was
need my
like, "Do you want to
partner.
go on a grand adventure in space and meet aliens and do all sorts of shit?" I'd be like, "I don't know if I have the energy, dude."
What if they were like, okay, you can go on a grand adventure in space with aliens and shit and meet everything, and it's just a wonderful adventure, but also you can have a pet.
That does change things.
Does it?
I just want to be guaranteed safety and my partner to also come, and that's it. That's all I need. I don't need this house in Kentucky. I can go outside.
uh,
So, do I answer for an NPC or do I not answer for an NPC? If I answer for an NPC, who do you want to know?
I already
Hmm.
know what I want to know, but I also
Say
want to
it.
be the person deciding.
who do you
It's,
want to
it's
know?
always Balthazar. I always want to know things about Balthazar.
This is
I
true.
think I'd agree to that.
Balthazar would 100% go.
Yeah.
Because he's an alien.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even hesitate for a second, would just be like, fuck yeah, where's the ship?
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what I figured about.
Do you
Balthazar.
mind
Because
if I
he's a
take
dragon
things
and
apart?
dragons are aliens.
Yeah.
Do you
Exactly.
mind if I take it apart?
Yeah.
Is there any other NPC?
What was her
Feel like-
name? Hex? Hex would
Yeah.
Hex would go.
Hex would go.
go.
Take her honey bear and she'd be like
Hex-
out of here.
Hex wouldn't need to be invited. Hex would just
Yeah,
go.
Hex is
would
just
sleep
on
on
the
the
ship.
ship while they were
Yeah.
He's an alien.
The aliens would realize she was there like a week later and be like, "Oh no."
She'd
Why
be
are there all these-
diving off of like vent fluff.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm just imagining her like putting graffiti in like some random part of the ship, and that's how they figure out there's somebody there. It's glow in the dark.
What do these
skulls.
symbols mean?
There must be some kind of presence from the planet we were just
I think it's
on.
haunted.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's-
exactly.
It's
Ship's haunted.
literally just that Hex has been like drawing windings all over.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Be great.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
The
Mm.
in-language universe wingdings.
Yeah. There is an in-universe wingdings. It's called Thieves' Cant.
That's
Say,
fair.
I can.
Thieves' Cant being a pictographic language.
Yeah.
Canonically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we're doing something a little bit different with the first part of this here. Wow, Nick.
Yeah, so for the first part of the stream today, we were just gonna sit down on like Theorycraft for a little bit. Like a lot has happened. And have typed a lot of messages about trying to figure shit out. And we just thought it might be nice to like sit down, see if anyone in chat has any questions, see if like any of us are like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what the fuck is your character doing right now? And just sit and kind of like work through some of that in amongst ourselves. Get Babs caught up a bit. I'm sure Babs has questions.
No, just driving. No, yeah.
Yeah, Babs like
Just fine.
no thoughts, just vibes.
Yeah, we should totally also say that Babs and Nolani will be joining us for the foreseeable future.
Yes.
Yay.
Claps, 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 claps.
Clap, 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 clap,
Yeah.
clap. Yeah.
So
So
be nice, chat.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Look-
our chat
look
is
at-
so mean.
They're so mean. Look at Nolani. How could you be mean to that face?
Yeah, we'll fight you if you're mean.
Oh, guys, thanks. That's so nice. But
That's
no,
so
I'm
sweet.
excited. I'm excited to understand the lore. So
We don't understand
I'm
the lore.
also
It's a
excited
good
God,
time.
Yeah.
yeah.
We're
Once you
reading this.
understand it, please explain it to me.
Yeah, I got a big ass fucking dump about dragons, and I don't know what I've been told. Like I don't know. There's just a lot of words.
So yeah, so does anyone should we start with like a bit of a recap of like where we are, or like
the
just
story in
the
general.
story in general?
That might be
Yeah.
helpful.
Yes.
Oh, it's like Star Wars with the story so far. Everything.
Yes, the story so far. Picture a crawl, everyone.
Spaceship
This is
flying.
beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, I have nothing written for this. So
I wrote something for this.
did
Oh,
you write?
for
But
last week.
no, but for last week, but not for the story at large.
Oh, the story at large. We're a bunch of idiot kids who do idiot shit, and
but you're going to college, so
we're a bunch of idiot college students. who do
Yes.
stupid
Yeah,
I
but
do
some of us
like
are
that depending on the day, we're high schoolers, but also maybe college kids.
We're
Yeah,
definitely
it's like-
in college. We treat them like they're high schoolers.
yeah.
In fairness, I think I did the math, and Yenna is like functionally a 15-year-old.
Okay, so essentially, the premise of Hellions is that you were all lured in by a magic school being like, come learn magic. It's wonderful. It's amazing. Come learn to be an adventurer. It's wonderful. It's amazing. Ting's been there for 10 years. Everything has just started to fall apart. There
Yeah.
has been danger. There has been adventures. There has been, quite honestly, a very worrying amount of doppelgangers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A very worrying amount. And then none,
Yeah.
and then probably them again.
Yeah, the whole stage one, phase one of Hellions, it would have to be Ned and Nick, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing the rundown on that because the rest of us were not here for it. IIRC.
It's true. We are the remaining two of the OG Hellions launch cast. But yet, if this is your first time ever joining us, wow, how lucky for you that we've decided to do an impromptu bit of a recap right now in this moment. But I'm gonna do my best to do a really, really quick overview from like the very, very beginning, like season 0 at this point. But basically, like, we all showed up at magic school. We were like just hanging out. Yeah, Tink's been there for 10 years. But most of the folks were like first, second, third year, like new or newish students. And it was a pretty normal school year. And then we uncovered a big conspiracy theory that there were like doppelgangers everywhere, and it turned out that there were. But then we fixed it. And we met this guy, and we were like, this guy might be a dragon. And that was Abraxas, and it turns out he definitely is a dragon. But yeah,
also
like
decided Praxis more than the character who was our actual supposed to be like trusting us teacher character.
Yeah, we really hung out a lot with Abraxas in Arc 1. in like our very first iteration. And yeah, so like things came to a head with the doppelgangers. That was like most of the plot that we were dealing with. And Ilya was a doppelganger, who is a character that we've encountered quite a bit, who was dating my character's ex-roommate, current boyfriend. Ex-roommate, husband?
Husband.
Belial. And tried to murder him. And then he died. We're asking him questions. Like, when I say he died, he literally just died. We didn't kill him. We don't actually...
I tried to kill him.
You did. We don't actually know how Ilya died the first time, but I think it was some kind of spell or geese that was saying he couldn't talk about certain shit, which we've encountered again later. But we went in to the Temple of the Doppelgangers, basically, and chose for all the Doppelgangers to be resurrected as the people that they used to be, instead of Doppelgangers. At which point, Tink died, because he was a Doppelganger, unbeknownst to all of us, including myself. And kind of shortly after that, we ended up in a weird kind of upside down place called Babel, and we're joined by Yenna and Yulie, and the world reset, and we found out that we were in a time loop. Since then, we've been trying to figure out the time loops, and we've been doing a very bad job. We had an extremely short loop where we just fucked everything up, and it lasted 3 days, and we played it roughly in real time. And now we're in the current time loop where we feel like things are going better. But we've also started to learn a bunch about the dragon Abraxas, and potential dragon Balthazar.
He's a perfectly ordinary man, just an average man.
Who is
We're also
absolutely a dragon.
starting to get an idea of like at least some of the triggers for the loop happening, right?
Yeah,
Like
a little
we
bit.
believe that if Ilya dies, that's one of the catalysts for the loop needing to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the loop tends to end shortly after Ilya dying. And the last very important piece of information that we recently uncovered is that Tink, my character, was the person who created the time loops to try and save his dying husband. Which is probably totally fine. It's totally fine, and it's not fucking with him at all to know that.
Is that what Tink is telling his therapist, or just in general?
It's bold of you to assume this boy is a therapist.
I was gonna say, who is his therapist? Is it
God, we could
Balthazar?
all use one though, dude.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Tink's therapist is definitely Balthazar. Did you
It's
not see that?
Oh God.
Yeah, that's why he's not doing so
Taking
hot.
their relationship a little bit healthy, in an unhealthy direction. Worse
Yeah,
than everyone.
yeah.
I mean, none of us are very, very healthy people, to be honest. All of our
We're
characters got
adventurers.
big problems.
Adventurers are not healthy people, let's be real.
Yeah, because if you're happy at home, why would you leave?
Yeah.
That's
And yes,
fair.
of course, yeah, Tink has never done anything wrong, like I said. So creating a time loop must have been the right thing to do. By that logic is
What if
where
we
I'm coming from.
I think Danny was the one who came up with a funny like nickname for Evil Tink, and I can't remember what it was.
Oh, God, I don't know. I was calling him Bad Tink or Other Tink, I think.
We've called him many things. I've been calling him just Original Tink.
Yeah, I
Which is
just
not very
call
fun. It's just clear.
I just call this Tink our Tink, so that we
Yeah.
are like, because we don't claim that other shit.
No, the other one
we don't
was
claim
Booger
those other
Tink.
guys.
We're not representing that other thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy is an asshole.
Yeah.
Would you like to know what I call Tink Prime in my notes?
Yes.
Is it Tink Prime?
Is it Prime?
It's not Tink Prime, it is President's Choice Tink, which is a very Canadian reference.
Why? Why is he PC Tink?
What does that mean? Explain.
It's just a grocery store brand. It's a very prolific grocery store brand.
Amazing.
Is it like calling something like the generic?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And
pretty
it
funny.
specifically comes in like very sad yellow packaging.
No, that's no name. That's no
Oh,
name.
that's no name, isn't it?
Which is, to be fair, made by the same company.
Yeah.
Two prongs of
Kroger's
the
brand
same.
tank.
So our tank is more like Trader Joe's tank.
I'd like to
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
so.
I think that's pretty accurate
No,
too,
no, no,
given
no.
like
Trader
the
Joe's
selection.
tank. Trader Joe's tank is the very sad tank that you also ran across.
Wow.
The tank
How
that,
The
the
one that
tank
had
that you are
real-
traveling, like the tank that you have, the tank that Nick is playing, is definitely the Whole Foods tank.
Oh.
Expensive and
I
Oh,
would
he
play
is
Amazon.
very
I would
fancy.
say it's in a co-op tank.
Owned by Amazon and still a little bit sketchy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's true, to be
Oh,
honest.
dear.
Beautiful.
And I can return my Amazon packages there, so it's fine.
Oh.
Yeah. So if we want to like theory craft and stuff,
Mhm.
it's hard like figuring out where to start. But I guess like uh we could begin because we all have them. We could start with the stones. What do we know about the stones?
Oh, that's right. So yeah, these
Yeah.
stones, we know that they all just kind of appeared basically on our like pillows one day or wherever we were sleeping. And then they've just been with us ever since. You can try and get rid of them. Won't work. And
Well,
lock them in a
Ace-
locked box.
It
Ace
does
looking
feel
at-
like we're being chosen, but it's like by whom is the big
Yeah.
question, I think,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because it's like it's not by any of the actors I think we've interacted with, except for maybe the masked people.
But even then, I think we've talked to so we've met some gods, chat. They're the aspects. And the aspect of the cat we've talked to many times.
Yeah.
And they, I think, have taken no ownership of the rocks. They've been like, that's not me.
So-
Which like they could be lying, but like honestly, they've been pretty chill with us.
Yeah.
I honestly
Yeah,
think
you-
that.
Wow.
Oh, sorry. I was.
Go
ahead. I think they would.
DM, go ahead, and then I'll say my thought.
Oh, I was just gonna say the aspects are connected to Babel, which is where you guys first met them when you got stuck there in the first loop. And the aspect of the cat has definitely been very present in the other loops that you have been through. It hasn't been mentioned whether or not they have done anything to the stones. They are aware of the stones,
Yes.
Yeah.
but have laid no claim to them.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna throw it out there because actually this is something that Dukes and Danny might not know.
Mhm.
And by extension Babs as well.
Yeah.
Tink has actually had like a full conversation with his stone before.
What?
In which after he came back as a doppelganger, he had lost the memories of the last like 4 years, which
Oh,
would have
shit.
been our entire campaign.
Yeah.
And the stone asked if he wanted to restore what he had lost, which was his memories. And he did.
Load last save file.
Like
literally.
Yeah.
and it
Okay.
was phrased like restore what you've lost. Would you like to restore what you've lost? So it wasn't like an intellectual conversation, but like he has spoken with and like whatever kind of entity or anything that is in the stone. And several times since then he has attempted to talk to the stone and reason with it, and that's kind of why.
I thought Tick was crazy pants. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So
I
he
have a
does have
theory
his,
about
he hasn't told anyone in character that, but I think that is pertinent for us as players to know.
Mhm.
Okay, so I guess the question then would also be, are they themselves any kind of intelligence, or are they like programmed in a certain way? Because like we
I-
have what?
I was gonna say, I think Tink programmed them. I think that Tink Prime or one of the other tanks has programmed the stones and like has chosen us because like we are Tink's friends and
Okay.
But would Sorry, I was trying to decide which way I wanted to refer to this Tink. Would PC Tink have been like, I should choose the people that would help the newest Tink out the most, because that might go completely against what
The
I
purpose
don't think
of the
OG
loop
Tink
is.
wants.
Yeah.
I don't think it
Yeah.
was Tink Prime who made them, or PC Tink. I think it was one of the subsequent Tinks.
A different
You
oh
think a
my god,
subsequent
it's
Tink is
all
Sad,
fucking
sad
Tink.
Tink.
Because
a
Because there was
because it was
something.
Sad
Tink?
Tink. Sad
I
Tink made the
like
sounds.
Monty had found somebody's journal and one of the prototypes of the stones, which he stupidly gave to Abraxas and the start of
Oh.
the verse.
Oh.
And that journal said that he was whoever was writing it was really very sad and very depressed, and
Oh shit.
then his friends came to help him. And I rolled well enough to know exactly what the journal said, but not well enough to actually know whose journal it was. And then there was a very smooth river rock that was with it. And like an idiot, well, not an idiot, Monty was trying to save his life and Zinnia's life, and he thought that if he gave the stuff to Abraxas, then he would be able to get,
And
yeah.
yeah,
But
and
Be able to get
at what point does Abraxas come into this conversation? While the group initially is looking for answers, or has Abraxas sort of always been around to this problem?
The group first met Abraxas when they went down into the basement of the school, essentially, that led to the caverns by the lake.
Which we
Which is
now
where the
affectionately
doppelgangers
call
were also
the
hanging
murder
out.
basement.
Yeah.
You do indeed affectionately call it the murder basement. Um, and they met Abraxas under quite suspicious circumstances.
I don't think someone living with a bunch of books and rotten food in a murder basement is suspicious circumstances.
And is he still down there,
You
or is he
That's
like he
Tink's
moved on?
future. Like, that'll be Tink
you don't
someday.
know.
Okay.
No one has been down there to check what's going on. But you did find a dragon horde in that very same basement.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tink and Kay kind of maybe sort of ended up in a dragon horde down there, and when they yelled for help, Abraxas was the person who showed up.
I see.
So we have
Interesting.
reason to believe that was probably his horde. Know exactly where it is, but once you're in it, yeah, there isn't a way out. So I don't recommend we go in there, since he doesn't seem to like us a lot right now.
Well, Nolani was given a stone, right? By Bubby?
Bubby.
Uh,
That's his name now.
Bernard?
By
Bernard! By Bernard.
What a
It's
guy.
Bubby.
Could
It's
Bernard
Bubby
have been the
forever.
one who made the stones? I guess that's not really in his wheelhouse. But we don't really
Yeah,
know who real Bernard is, because the
that's true.
Bernard that we met at the end of last session was a totally different person.
Correct. But I think the stone that he gave Noelani as part of the sort of like ghost hunting kit it was an unattached sending stone.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
So
it's a
they
sending
might not
stone
be
that
connected.
like taps into our frequencies. And you had said, our DM had said at the beginning when I made sending stones that there were going to be people who were going to be able to surveil what we said on sending stones, and I did not think you meant fucking Bernard.
Bernard.
Okay. So, question. Bernard has a stone.
Like a you problem.
Mm-hmm.
And
Bernard
we
has a
know
stone.
has history with Tink. Is it possible that Sad Tink was like, you're my best friend in some horrible time loop, and was just like, here's the stone?
Yeah, so you missed it
Yeah.
last session, but when he didn't have his stone anymore because of
Mhm.
everything that happened last session,
Right.
he was terrified and begging us to keep the stone away from him, and said that when he had the stone, he didn't like who it made him. It was like he was like a completely different person. He was terrified. He wanted nothing to do with us or anything that was going on. But when he had the stone, he was like, I'm part of this now. We're all in a big team. We're doing stuff together,
Like,
like
it compels him to be this
well,
nosy idiot?
that's what we're trying to figure out, is like when when he has the stone, does he go into these new loops with like memories of past Bernards and it like affects who he is and how he behaves? And if he doesn't have it, does he like kind of revert back to who he
Normally would be.
normally
Yeah, it's
would
sort of like
be?
the
Yeah.
Bernard aware of the many war crimes that are happening here, perhaps.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because we had known, and maybe not like in character, but like knew that like the Bernard we always see who's in charge of Ghost Club is like a persona he puts on, right?
Yes.
So is that just the culmination of like however many loops he's been through, and so he's just that person, a weirdo, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a symptom of like going a little loopy from doing too many loops.
Right. Too many
Yes.
loops.
Got a
Yeah.
little time to be.
That's the new phrase for it now. Got a
Time
little time
loopy.
loopy.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
Yeah, and we know. I mean, we know a couple people because he's at the school paper.
Mhm.
Yulie's at the school paper, but also Yulie's like
Yes.
editor has a stone.
Or
What?
we think she does, yeah, based on the conversation
Oh,
that I overheard with her and Bernard.
okay.
They were both talking as though they knew about the loops. Um, so whether or not that means that they both have stones or if she because we know that Bernard's loop starts quite a bit further back than ours, right?
The
So
full
it could
10
be that
years. Bernard has
yeah,
also been at the school for 10 years.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
it could be that she just becomes privy to it sort of Calreal style because I think
Okay.
Calreal didn't originally have a stone, right? So
No, he has like the manufactured stone,
yeah.
which
The
like that's
stone that Balthazar managed to distill from the one that he has.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it's like it. I have a lot of questions about the stones because it's like, are they manufactured or are they a thing
You don't
like
know?
that exists via gods or whatever, right?
You don't
Like
know?
I know, and that's why I have so many questions.
That's what we're here today.
Yeah.
It is. No, genuinely, I feel like I should clue chat in on this. I have told the party that they are allowed to level up this week if they come up with a theory on how to stop the loops. Doesn't have to be like a
Wait, when did you
100%.
say that?
Before you got here,
on,
sorry.
yeah. So it's like everyone's like, yeah, I want to be level 9. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Anyway, it still applies though. We can figure this shit out.
It does. It still applies. If you come up with like what you as a group can agree is a plausible way to stop the loops, I will let you level up this week.
I'm wondering from my own like reaching back to tasks that I was given at the start of the year, um, when uh, when Monty accidentally when he was trying to save Zinnia, Abraxas gave him a necklace and told him to put it to kill Balthazar with it, but presumably like putting it on Balthazar's neck. And I think that like that is one way that the loops may stop is if we kill Balthazar. But
Unacceptable.
it's unacceptable. Monty hasn't done it, clearly.
Yeah, you went straight for the what if we kill perhaps the OPest NPC we've seen so far.
Is he?
Hey, I would have
I
gone
would like
for
to
it if
correct you. I would like to correct you. Balthazar is actually the least OP NPC you guys have seen so far because he does nothing but roll ones. The most
God,
OP
that's so
NPC
true.
you guys have seen so far is Carriel, who rolled 8 20s in a session. I rest my case.
Yeah.
and that's why they are the perfect couple.
Yes. Balthazar has someone to lean on now.
Someone whose rolls to steal.
This is not a thing that we have discussed in canon either. Just a thing that we have discussed behind closed doors.
Yeah. Can't wait to draw art.
I do feel like killing Balthazar may end the loops, but more from the there's because like Tink, original Tink, PC Tink is trying to save Belial.
Yeah.
And it's not fucking working. And I mean,
No,
obviously, if we just saved Belial, it would it would fix the loops.
Sure, of course.
I
That would,
mean,
yeah.
No, I
Obviously.
think Tick has to accept that he's not going to be able to save Belial. That's how the
Yeah.
loops.
I
Yeah.
also think that that is a thing that has to happen.
Yeah.
I think that's ultimately Tick's character arc, and that's what's going to stop it. And that'll be what that's going to be what stops the loops entirely.
But OG Tank has to come to that conclusion, and that's not gonna fucking happen, dude.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
mechanically, we have to figure out the machine.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know things, so I'm like, what does the perpetual motion machine like do as far as like it powers the whatever that causes
Yeah.
the loops, right? But like, do they make a substantial amount of power? I was not under the impression that that's how that worked.
Well, I
So
mean,
is it just that it just continuously does power and therefore is enough eventually?
I feel like it's that. Like it's the idea that yeah, there's the perpetual motion machine making power from effectively making power from nothing.
Right.
And then it seemed that it was hooked up to either the power of the loops or pulling people out of the loop to like harness their potential energy, basically. I'm here what's it called style? Weeping Angel style, Doctor Who. Working off of the potential energy of lives lived.
Okay.
You know?
I could see that.
Or events happening.
And do we have a working knowledge of how far like the loop sort of encompasses, like campus, right? Or and the epicenter is the hospital wing?
The epicenter's the hospital wing. The thing is we're not sure if this is related to the loops, if like time falling apart and the world ending is like the way the loops reset. Or if the world is also just ending and coincidentally this loop can bring us back to the beginning.
Yeah. We do
So we
know that
got. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we do know that the loops go back a significant amount of time and do seem to affect greater area than campus, though. In that, like, Balthazar goes back 400 years
Yeah,
and
300
like
or 400 years,
relives
right?
like a
Yep.
war and some other shit that's not campus based. So, like, it is the entirety of like this timeline goes back.
Yeah.
It seems.
And then the idea that like so like OG Tank made the loops. But obviously could not give himself the agency to know the loops. Like he has not, as far as he knows, ever been conscious of like being in a time loop before. Although we have learned that Yulie was once had knowledge of being in a time loop before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yulie's been in a couple before joining the group.
That she remembered but then forgot before she came to the group.
I don't think that she was aware of the loops in either of those times. I don't
Just
think.
like Groundhog Day.
I think that
Or like-
Ilya had copies of her journals, but
No,
she did because
She
she thinks
remembered,
that because she thinks Ilya killed her in one.
Okay. But then this current sort of iteration like does not remember
Doesn't
that.
remember those loops at all.
Right,
Yeah.
because hadn't read the journals, didn't know what was in them. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is it possible that by Tink sort of initiating this loop on his own agenda and the perpetual motion machines sort of feeding itself and growing in power has allowed those sort of like hidden agenda players like Abraxas and everybody else to essentially use the power sort of that's like keeps like it's kind of like a like we're wearing away at the veil, right? Like if we're thinking of these like timelines on top of each other, if the campus in this epicenter has like worn away enough that it's sort of made it almost translucent amongst each other, because we had that moment with the orb where we saw that the loops are sort of just stacking on top of each other, if you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like why the hospital itself is probably so fucky.
Exactly.
Yes.
So if they're using that, is that possible sort of why all of the things are sort of converging? Because it seems right now, at least to me, that, like Tink's agenda and Abraxas's agenda and Babel's agenda have and superficially nothing to do with each other, but are somehow connected at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just realized Tink has actively traveled to another timeline.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is
And
that
appears
the answer?
maybe, and appears to be the only one who can do that.
I
Well, has functionally like the knowledge of how, but like if we have a stone, could we not also like, because wasn't there something about like everybody can go to their own other timelines or something like that?
I have been
Mm.
to another. Have you either time traveled or didn't been to a different timeline?
Everyone else has only really been able to interact with that stuff in like our kind of dreamscape.
Right.
And Ilya implied that yeah, each one of us had like that each one of us could effectively like travel amongst our own timeline.
Right.
And the thing with Tink is that he specifically traveled in Belial's timeline. He did not travel in his own timeline. He did travel in his own timeline, but the first time it was a point where his and Belial's time intersected. The second time he wasn't there, or at least like wasn't present, and it wasn't a memory, where the first one had been like a memory.
Is that when you got the stone?
Uh,
When you were like left alone, and then
Oh, his stone, right? Yeah.
you went to go get Belial's
he
stone
stole
from like
two
another.
stones. My boy has 3
Wait,
stones
Like it
of
was like
Belial's, and one of
two
them is
Belial
broken.
stones?
2 Belial stones, 1 Belial stone that's broken, 2 whole
Yeah.
Belial stones, and 1
You should try
of his
eating
own
one.
stone.
Oh
He
my God,
should.
no.
He should try eating the 2 halves of
You know what? We'll
I'm
see
sure
how
that
Yulie goes.
I'm sure nothing
Oh.
wrong can happen from that.
Yeah.
Um,
My prediction for that is
Yeah.
Yulie's about to have one heck of a tummy ache.
oh, I'm so worried.
Emily.
Yeah. I'm also worried about my
Emily!
Hi,
tummy.
Emily.
Hi, Emily.
Hi, Emily.
I'm sorry, it's a rule whenever Emily shows up in chat that we have to say hello.
Yeah, hi.
True.
We miss you, Emily.
Yeah.
So we believe that Ilya is a clone of Abraxas, correct? That potentially Tink made, or that Abraxas made and gave to Tink because Tink was doing something that was in line with what Abraxas wants.
There's definitely some connection there. That is a triangle.
I think that, yeah, I think
Okay.
it's a group project that they worked on together to give PC Tink an option to fiddle around in timelines that work.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I still think that like I think at the end of the day, Belial doesn't get saved by whatever the fuck the like experiment is,
Oh,
Yeah.
and that it's
no.
just a massive manipulation by Abraxas.
For
Like,
sure. I
yeah,
completely agree with
Yes.
that. I think that there's no win state, but
yeah,
that OG Tink has been convinced that there potentially is, but Abraxas knows there isn't.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think the creating of like whatever the fuck Belial was in the hospital, like whatever that is something that Abraxas wants. That has nothing to do with Tink's goals. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think he ever gets Belial back.
No, I think at the point I think the only way that we do potentially save Belial is to manage to like take the one that's confined to the loops and like take that out. If there was a way to save him, I feel like that's it. I don't feel like there's a way to save the one that is like theoretically in the original timeline. Like that is too far gone.
Mm-hmm.
So, Something that I had in my notes from when I found Ilya's body is that I realized that every loop, the Ilya that we meet is the exact same, even though everything else changes. It's almost like someone is like plopping Ilya in each loop instead of him being part of the loop.
Yeah.
I'd be
Mhm.
curious to know if that's also the same for Abraxas. If
Huh.
Abraxas is actually stuck in the loop the way that Balthazar is, or if he also sort of exists outside of the loop, if he's one of the people helping like construct it, basically.
That's
And I
fair.
and I would wager that there's good assumption there based on the Abraxas that we saw last week,
Mhm.
because he seemed aware of us as a group. You know, we didn't really let him talk too much, but
We do that a lot. We
Yeah.
we talk a lot
He
at
dove
him.
at me, dude. No, this
No.
was not us this
No.
time.
No, this is the thing. This is what I said to Jess after game, because they were like, man, you know, Abraxas is the only NPC you don't talk to. And I'm like, yeah, he's the only NPC who, like, sees us, and he's like, on site, motherfuckers.
He's
Like,
so
he
feral,
starts the
dude.
fight. He starts the fight. It's not us. It's not me. He comes at us hard, and we know he's a dragon,
well-
and it's scary.
I feel
So we
like
don't use our words and we just attack.
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like our ratio of fights that we get, like unnecessary fights that we get into, is gonna go down significantly without Xanth, sadly. But I feel like
Sorry,
I feel
Emily.
like Xanth always had like ready to fight energy, you know?
Man, you've got Yenna for that. You just throw
I
her
know,
around if you don't
yeah.
like.
Emily. It's not your fault. He's just made that way.
Yeah.
He's built
He's just-
different, dude.
He's not bad. He's just drawn that way.
You're not wrong. Exactly.
Yeah. I had a thought and it's gone now.
Oh no.
I remember. Is there a universe in which constructs do not have their own mind, but like someone can astral project into that? And that is why we get a weird Ilya thing. Or Ilya is consistent, even though he's like not. Because like the doppelgangers like preserved the personality and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, is there a way to like place a sentience into the constructs? And is that how we get an Ilya situation?
I mean, it's definitely how we get a Belial situation, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's how we got an Ilya situation.
Yeah. Well, because like the Belial that is aware, that is nice and not turning into a crazy thing,
Yeah.
like is that
Our
is a
Belial.
is a our Belial. Is that a construct or is that a dude?
He's a construct.
So fully is a construct, but has been like sentient this whole time.
Yes, and appears to be a construct consistently throughout each loop, where Ilya is being plopped in perfectly every time.
Mm-hmm.
That Belial has scars from every previous loop.
Right.
And like presents himself differently each time, and has, based on whatever amount of memories, like he and Tink have a different relationship each time.
Right.
And that's something I think a lot about that I cannot parse.
It's just
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out like how many actors there are as far as like when the loops reset, multiple people start moving and setting
Yeah.
things up, it feels like. And it's like I don't know if all of them are like a PC Tink Abraxas situation. Like I feel like there's
Or is it just like a
out there.
reset where you left off and
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because when we come back in, we're hitting the ground running on the first day of school this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
which another fun thing for people from the OG season. Tink found Balthazar's stone 10 years ago and pocketed it, and it disappeared, and he forgot about it.
We did a one-shot at one point during the very first season of Hellions in which, Tink found a stone in the middle of the woods.
And it was an
10
amber
years
stone.
before the events of the game.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he went back in his journal and, like, confronted Balthazar about it. And at the time, Balthazar did not remember, and then later confronted him about it again in another loop. And he did remember. So someone's also, we know this, but fucking with Balthazar's memories. Though he seems to be, I mean, we're really early in, but he seems to be doing all right this time around.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing, because it's like this idea of like people having geeses and like modified memory and stuff. It's like it doesn't feel like it's all Abraxas, because Abraxas has like one very specific way where he put a geese on put it on Yulie, or somebody did, and Yulie was having a bad time.
Yeah,
Early on.
Abraxas cast that on me.
Yeah, but it's like the conditions were like, and the way things triggered was like different enough that it's like it didn't make sense that it would be the same person, because he would just do the same thing.
Yeah.
Versus having it like affect people different ways. So it's like I don't want there to be more actors because we're already like dealing with so many, but it's like it feels like there's some other faction that's still waiting to be explored.
Well, there's I keep forgetting about fucking, I don't know how important they are, but there's a whole bunch of people that apparently live under the mermaid moat.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're just people in the
these guys
lake.
keep showing up with a fucking
these fucking guys.
life book, a live book.
Yeah. Oh, my book.
Your book. Your friend Bookie.
My friend Bookie McBookerson. I love it.
We need to go on a heist to the Sullivan Manor.
We do. We gotta go to your house and kick your dad in the mouth and then take his book.
Yeah. I
go
almost feel like we have to go to all of our houses.
I mean,
oh God.
The biggest problem with Yenna's stuff is it's a different fucking continent, but like
it's true.
there's a lot of fucking lore there apparently, and I'm like, oh no. we probably have to go there to like go kick down a door and be like, Hakun! I'll go Hakun! What the fuck? Why are you a dragon?
Yeah.
Danny has theories.
If we can stay alive long enough for term break, we can all go on a trip together.
Term break, like, Tink isn't about to be like, I'm out of here. Who the fuck cares about graduating?
God.
We're hitting the road. Because I feel like there's some shit in the Gold Petal Estates.
I mean, with what we saw with the big dragon things that aren't really pointing at anything but maybe implying some shit, is like the Elflands also have some fucking shit that need to be addressed. As far as like, is there a faction of dragons around?
The Gold Petals are one of the oldest elven families to still be possessed of their land.
Yeah.
And the whole reason they're Gold Petals is like it is like lands of golden flowers. Like those are the lands they had.
Yeah.
Which all feels very in line with that, like,
that one story.
Yeah. Like, elven dragon gold bullshit, and I'm just like, fuck.
There's a dragon baby daughter, probably not a baby, but was kidnapped by somebody, and then mom and her died, and it's like, oh god. And then that affected the lands around it? Oh, okay. So, we get to figure out where that is, because that is, I think, pretty close to Carnocht.
And then we know that Tink's mom gets kidnapped at some point, which seems relevant too.
What?
That was
Tink, are you a dragon?
I don't know. That was a previous loop thing, guys.
Oh my god, your mom's a dragon.
But has it happened again?
We haven't made it far enough in the loop for it to happen again. The first time it happened about 3 to 6 months into the school year, and that's when Calriel showed up the first time.
I
Was to
out,
like
guys.
very low key be like, Tink Mom ran away and she stole all the money.
Oh God, good for her.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Emily
that's
does
what
say
Tink said. And then Cal was like, I guess we're not doing this together. Their relationship was
Emily
not great the
confirmed.
first time around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this. Tink Mom always gets kidnapped every loop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I mean,
okay.
is that the secret? Are we all just
Are,
like
are we the
descended from the
dragons?
yeah,
Are we
like
all the
descended from the dragon?
Fuck, we've been pointing fingers this whole time.
That's why we're chosen. The dragons have given them to
Oh no.
Actually, I like that theory a lot.
I like that theory to a point. Like I'm mostly shitposting, but
Yeah.
God,
Me
like,
too.
we all have like a weird connection to like dragon lore, as
Yeah.
far as we know and can tell.
Hmm.
Yeah. And Tink's family has also done dealings with Hakun, so
Right? No, and again, hysterical at the idea of like a young Tink running around the estate, having found a magic baby Yenna.
yes.
This baby teleports amazing.
Yeah. Holy shit. Teleporting baby, teleporting baby. You'd be so excited.
The baby made a black hole. No big deal.
Yeah.
My God.
Yenna as a child would have been such a like horror, like toddler with the power of graviturgy is such a horrible idea.
Mhm.
Deanna would have been Jack Jack from.
I was about
Yeah,
to say.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I love that. Yes.
absolute worst child.
It would have been the only time he would have had fun when people were visiting as a kid. They're like, look at this
I'm,
fucking
like-
toddler. She's amazing.
Yeah. I love her.
Oh, she's pretty good. I like her a bit.
I like her a bit. She's okay.
No, I fucking adore her. I get to be as feral as possible.
Yes.
Such a good outlet.
Is this where I ask the chat if they have any lore questions that they want answered?
Yeah.
I tried asking Emily and she didn't. She said nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, Tink's mom's just having a vacation. Honestly, taking the family fortune and just fucking off seems like a great vacation to me.
I mean, yeah.
She didn't just take the family fortune. You remember it was explicitly said that she also took a handmaid.
Yeah, that's because they're dating.
Yeah, she
That's because everyone in Tink's family is in the closet. It's the one thing they have in common that none of them will talk about.
Poor Cal having to carry on the family line with that bullshit.
Yeah.
Poor cat.
I never
Poor
want to
Cal.
hear the words poor Cal again in my life.
Why?
Poor cow.
God damn it.
Now there's a good boy who's never done anything wrong.
Aw,
I mean,
cow.
Me
possibly
saying
true.
No, not true. Not true.
No?
The only
Even
thing that
more.
he's done wrong are all the war cards.
Is he a war criminal?
He's
He's
a
a general.
general. He's
So,
a war
yeah.
criminal.
Yeah, okay.
Does Xanth have a
Ah.
dragon connection? I don't think they do. I mean, Xanth could just turn into a dragon?
You'll
Is that
find out in the Xanth one-shots.
Oh.
Mhm.
Dun,
Oh.
dun, dun.
That's true.
I
Cal
did.
will roll high to deal with the family. It'll be fine.
Lord.
You have 10 minutes to decide on a plan before we go on break.
I mean,
At which point
I'm-
you are going to either confirm or deny giving us a level.
Yes.
That's very rude
Oh
of you.
goodness.
What?
Okay.
pretty
Mhm.
rude. I'm still hanging my hat on we will have to learn how to manipulate the stone magic to go to the OG timeline and fix that.
Yeah, I think
So,
that.
Yeah.
so your vote is on going back to the beginning and not coming back to anything.
I think if we had the stones
Mhm.
and theoretically we're able to go to our own other timelines. Syncing that up is the harder part of making sure we all go to the right timeline. But
Yeah.
once we are able to do that, like, what is stopping us? Like, unless our stones get taken away once we solve it, then
Right.
like
Yeah, I
we
think you're
should be
right.
able to just come back.
This is a very, you know, it's obviously a magic fantasy game, but it's very science heavy. I feel like understanding the science, understanding how the machine works, understanding how the stones work. Um, once we can figure some of that stuff out, yeah, it'll be easier for us to figure out what our limitations are, and if we can access that first timeline, we can we can we can tackle it head on.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the thing that we make is just a thing that allows us to pick a timeline, like an actual time travel machine
Yeah.
that utilizes all of our stones or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Are we gonna make a Thanos glove? With all
And
our
that's
sto- we-
exactly where
We're
I'm
making a
at.
we have
Thanos
to put
glove
all
with
of our
all the
stones into
rocks.
it.
That's the
Because I
plan,
think-
DM.
Yep.
Because I think we do have to. I think it's less for myself. I think it's less on the stones themselves and more on the perpetual motion machines, and having to reprogram them to essentially stop generating energy. Not destroying them, because that would be a bad. Don't just take a hammer at them. But I think we have to figure out how they work so we can switch the on and off switch to off.
That's fair.
Mhm.
I mean, is it because I know games that the DM has played? It's like this idea. Well, because like, I know that Outer Wilds is involved in this, and there is time travel and looping in that. So I'm like, okay, is the idea to have something that isn't a sun exploding create a stable energy situation, and
Mhm.
that's the importance of having our own perpetual motion machine, so that we can travel and it doesn't explode immediately, so we can go back. Because it's a lot of there's so much research that needs to be done before we can come up with a plan.
Mm.
Mhm. But
Yeah.
in argument's sake,
Yeah.
to get a level for a plan,
Mhm.
do we want to hang our hat on focusing on stone lore / Thanos glove
Yeah.
but honestly, I
There's
feel like
Right.
creating a machine with the rocks, period, I think is the answer. I don't know if it's another perpetual motion machine, but there is a reason other than the fact that he made the loops. The tank is called the Architect, and that he can handle all the stones without incurring any damage.
I was literally about to say the other thing that we haven't really talked about a lot is the
names.
Yeah, we all have like titles.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this has been confirmed on stream, but I believe DM has confirmed that each of the aspects potentially corresponds to one of us.
I don't know if DM confirmed that or if they were just like, wow, what a nice
Wouldn't that be an interesting thing?
what a cool
back.
thing you guys
Wouldn't
have.
that be cool? Wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't that be positively devilish?
Yeah, so it's not that we've gotten confirmation, but we've gotten that.
Right.
Whatever we feel like that is. Yeah.
That's the DM classic. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe.
Oh, wow. Is that what you think?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna make a thing, and we're gonna use the rocks.
Yeah.
Is that
We
too
know-
vague?
Is that too vague?
Okay, I'm gonna put it to you, and you're gonna have to vote.
Okay.
An off switch machine or a Thanos glove?
Thanos glove. That's my vote.
Thanos glove.
I think I'm on Thanos glove, because the Thanos glove could then lead to an off.
Yeah.
I think Thanos' glove is the answer to getting more answers. And knowledge is power. Dabs.
The pen is mightier than the sword. The pen is also a sword. Yeah, Thanos glove, I think. Emily, we're just calling something that would utilize multiple stones. Like a machine that would utilize multiple stones of Thanos glove.
Yeah. Like I just feel like that's the way we focus the everyone being able to go to the same place.
Yeah.
And I'll say this much because why not? Noelani does not have a stone. So if we are going to
Yeah.
prove that theory, having somebody that's like fresh off into the timeline, that would be like it's like set up like sleep study, like when does the stone appear?
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be interesting because it's like that may give us more answers as to like where the fuck does stone come from? Like, because they
Yeah.
aren't really just like so mysterious. We have no understanding of them other than they do thing.
Yeah. And Emily, it's okay that you don't trust Tink. Xanth's not here.
So, Nolani, what's your vote?
Oh
Do you
my
also vote for the Thanos glove? It has to be unanimous, and if you don't feel it in your heart, please don't go with it.
Oh no, I am for Thanos glove just to see what it means to not have a stone.
Okay, okay. Emily, since you're in
No,
chat,
Emily! No.
Listen, but Emily, what if we didn't give Tink the Thanos glove? What if Vienna got the Thanos glove?
I think that's a great idea because Yana's never
Emily,
done anything wrong.
Yeah, I
Emily, while you
fully
are not
agree.
on stream, Emily, I will give you final deciding vote. Do you think that these guys should make some kind of device with all of the stones that may or may not be an infinity gauntlet, or build an off switch?
Thinkfinity Gauntlet.
Infinity?
How did captions get that twice?
Yeah.
But could not. But
could not learn how to spell Xanth.
It can't even say Tink on like a normal day. Oh, there it goes. It's learned. It's learning. The machines are learning,
no.
guys. What does Infinity Gauntlet entail? The thing is we don't quite know, but the idea of being able to combine the powers of the stones, to then potentially like move through time streams together, I think is what we're kind of talking about.
Yeah. It's an idea of like a time travel machine, probably, on some level.
It's not a Thanos glove at all. It is a time machine.
No.
Or like a universal remote.
Yeah. Ooh, a universal remote. Yeah, exactly.
Did our campaign suddenly become a bad Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or oh god, hear me out. It could be a door.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Could be a door. I mean,
it
like
could be a door.
a portal is essentially what we need.
Oh, if that got in the hands, that's so bad. Yeah. Ooh, what if this is exactly what Abraxas wants us to make? Anyway, let's make it.
I mean, God, that would be the fucking twist, wouldn't it? It's like,
that would be the move.
Just constantly manipulating all Tinks across all timelines to try to get to this conclusion.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we should do it.
I mean, yeah.
Tinkfinity Gauntlet it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Given the way that you've discussed it, and what you think that it would end up doing, and what your goals are with it, you can all go up a level.
Yeah!
Can we level up during the break?
With that said, you guys can level up during the break, and we'll be back in about 20 minutes or so.
Okay.
See you guys soon.
See you soon.
For a proper dose of D&D this time.
Yay!
Yeah.
Level 3 barbarian. Yeah.
Hello. Hello, we're back.
Hi.
Sorry, we were just about to go off on another tangent, and I was like, we can't. We can't. The show must go on.
The show must go on, it's true. Specifically, the show must go on into an actual D&D session. Thank you so much for tuning back in. If you joined us in the first half, you will have heard all of the wonderful lore and theory crafting that was happening, including me forcing these guys into making an actual plan. So now they've got an extra level.
Yay!
We did it.
I will regret this in approximately 5 minutes.
Absolutely, yes.
So,
Probably.
did we do a recap of last session?
We did not,
No.
because we hadn't moved into the story yet. Would you like me to?
Yes, please.
Awesome. Before I start the recap as we come back in, I just want to let everyone know, again, we are a live actual play Theater of Mind D&D stream, so what you see is what you get. We don't do a lot of maps or anything like that. And we as players do practice safe playing, and we have our own safety systems in place for us, and we encourage you to step away if you need to from a scene, if anything is making you uncomfortable, or if it's just not something that you want to experience. So don't feel pressured to stick around if you're just not feeling a scene. Come back in later. Don't worry about it. And if you'd like to talk to us about that after, or during, or whenever, or just want to talk and hang out, we have a Discord and a Twitter that you can as well. So, last time on Hellions of Carnocht. This one's a pretty short one, because the Hellions do what they do best, and that's confronting Abraxas physically when they should be using their words. Yulie ate Ilya's stone, and the kids played keep away from Abraxas with Yenna and Bernard's stones. They managed to escape the strange farmland realm, all except for Monty, who hesitated at the last minute and found himself in a world of gold.
In said world of gold, the last thing that you had heard, Monty, upon taking in the gold trees, the gold brick, the glowing aura of the very world around you, you had heard a voice come from behind you that just said, "Ah, Tremont, we've been waiting for you."
Do I recognize this voice?
Roll history.
And I just where? Oh, there's my D20. That is the 23.
With the 23, you absolutely 100% do not recognize this voice.
So I turn around and to face this person, and you're expecting me.
The person that you see at the end of the alleyway that you stand in, at golden arches reaching above you, they are cloaked in white, with several gold buckles hanging from one shoulder. And whilst their face is shadowed by a hood, you can see what appears to be a mask made of gold. And they smile at you, slowly, baring teeth that are a little too pointed, a little too sharp, and a few too many. Of course, we've been waiting for you. It's been a while since any of you have passed through our world, let alone this close to the perfection of it. Follow me.
And I am absolutely gonna be a dumbass, and I will be following.
They lead you through avenues of golden trees where the leaves glitter like copper, bronze, gold. It's as though the entire world is made out of metal. But if you reach out and touch it, you would find that the tree bark feels just like tree bark would. It scratches your fingertips. The brick feels like stone. And they lead you up to what appears to be a round dais in the center of a square, upon which sits a golden glass dome. And above it are several spheres that rotate around each other.
I'm gonna roll history to see if these spheres remind me of the sphere that we were all sucked into.
Go ahead.
And let's see. That is a 14.
They look markedly different. For one, they're too big. The sphere that Nolani had brought to you all and that you'd fallen into was, me using fruit-based descriptions again, was about the size of a honeydew melon. These are much larger.
Okay. So, and also, what mask is this person wearing?
Roll perception.
13?
You can't quite make out the details. You can only see the bottom of it and what appears to be a jawbone that frames their own jaw. But in that mask and in the bottom of that jawbone, you do see two long fangs that kind of curl up towards the corner of their mouth. And they come to a stop at the top of the dais and motion for you to come with them.
I
Don't be
follow.
shy. Make yourself known. You've never made it here when our plane has been so close before.
Our plane. How should I make myself known? Just like introduce myself, or like is there some sort of
Roll a dexterity save.
That is a 13.
She grabs your wrist and immediately slams your palm down on one of the orbs that was floating in the air. And you feel a charge of... It feels like a static shock, but it is present and continued. And you see your skin glows so bright that you can see the bones through it. And the orb that you have touched responds much the same.
Is this painful?
It's not
Apart from
painful.
okay.
But the moment that she lets go and that you can stop touching the orb, you notice that the other orbs that were rotating around each other have stilled and now make 8 separate orbs stacked one on top of the other, all in a straight line leading towards the sky.
DM.
Yes.
What color are these orbs?
Roll perception.
1, 3. I don't know. I thought they were chakras. Perception. Yeah, that's a 6. They're just like too blindingly bright for me to disintegrate, determine the colors. Determine the colors.
They are incredibly bright.
Hi. I turn to the.
Just
Hi.
one.
Me?
Hello? Just one
Hello.
moment.
And then it
Uh,
stopped.
it does look like the stream went down for a sec. My internet just blipped out really hard for a minute. I don't quite know what happened. Yeah, we got most of that conversation. I think stream should be back now. It's back on my end.
It should indeed. I've also noticed that we weren't getting my captions through, so bear with me 1 second. I'll rejoin the Google Meet.
Oh, I was gonna say the captions are run through my computer, so it was probably my connection.
And it looks like we're good now.
Yeah, it looks like everything is good to go. Sorry, I'll get you back in the Google Meets one.
Okay.
Can you try again?
I'm asking to be let in.
Can you like refresh and try again? It just hasn't. It's not prompting me. It was like close the dialogue to let the person in, and I was like, okay, and it didn't.
I love it when technology works.
Yep, me too. Let me know when you are. Try again.
I'm trying again.
Oh.
So this bodes well indeed.
Yeah, maybe like shutting down the window and trying to join back in. Is everyone else still in call? Can we sound off for a
Yes.
sec?
No, sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
we
here.
are all here.
Hello?
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure because that was like
Yeah.
a massive blip on my end. I have no idea what happened. I'm the only person who is home right now, so.
It's a Monday.
But yeah,
Thanks everybody for bearing with us.
yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much for bearing through technical difficulties. I will refresh my Google Meets just in case. There we go.
All right.
We're to
Okay.
rejoin or not.
Should be good.
Okay.
And pardon the little notifications. Those will go away in a sec. That's why I set things up beforehand. There we go. Okay, we're good.
There we are.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Beautiful. Right, Monty, you were partway through asking a question
Yes.
as the orbs had
Um,
aligned.
So I turn to the cloaked person and I go, so do I talk to them? Like, do I like and as I'm asking, I'm like also kind of walking towards the orbs to like see if maybe do I touch them? Like what is the proper etiquette with this?
You've made yourself known. Now you can just sit back and watch and wait. We've been waiting for one of you to pass close enough to our realm for a while.
What is this place? This looks like Babel.
It is. And the moment that she says it is, and you watch the very last of the orbs align perfectly straight, you see it's almost as though the gold washes downwards, stripped by rain, as it proceeds to melt into the decayed and broken form of the Babel that you are aware of. And as it does, that gold is channeled into sigils upon the ground. Roll a history check.
That is another 13.
Whilst you can't pick out exactly what the sigils are and what they do, they look familiar, and that is because you saw them on the floor in the basement, where the golden figure with the original Tink was. Where your own body had been deconstructed and reconstructed.
So I I shiver a little bit because it's not a very physically pleasant memory. And I look to my guide and I ask her what the sigils are, what they mean.
The knowledge of the writing has long been lost to us. It was designed by the architect when Babel was first made. But watch, and she points towards the orbs that had aligned themselves, and you see that they have made what appear to be separate spheres, as though moons that are now orbiting the larger objects. And I would like you to roll perception as you see this.
Thank you, dice. That is a 22.
With a 22, it is easy for you to pick out the fact that each of these smaller stones are exactly that. They are stones, gemstones, very familiar ones. While some of them you do not recognize and you have not seen, you see amber, you see rose quartz, you see obsidian, you see tiger's eye. Several of these stones are the same as the ones that you and your friends have possessed. And as you watch, the alignment shifts, shatters, breaks, and each orb falls apart into specks of dust, creating galaxies that sit before you. And as all of this is happening, Babel is turning to ash and grey, all of the colour leaching away from it. However, the dome that all of this was based around remains. Cold glass. The colour has shifted from golden, swirling light to dark black, in which you can see a distant sea of stars.
Is this sea of stars like what I would see, what I've seen in my various trips into the dark world while sleeping?
I won't even make you roll for it. Yes, it feels exactly like that.
Okay. I I think I know this. I know. I mean, I know this place as much as one can. As much as one can know infinity. I'm gonna look back at the person at my guide, and can I do another perception check to see if I can discern their mask?
You don't have to. The moment that you look back at them, you see that they have changed as much as Babel has. And the white robe and the gold has been stripped away to leave behind just the gold mask and burned and blackened skin that you can see peeling away from knuckles and joints. What's left of them is wrapped in leather, patterned with hooks and trinkets falling from practically every part of them. The golden mask that they wear is that of the snake, that of the viper. And she smiles, a slow grin that once again bears far too many teeth. That are so sharp and so very capable of probably tearing you apart.
You're you're the aspect of the viper.
So very clever and quick on the uptake. I need you to roll a dexterity save as she tries to kick you into the void.
Oh, she manages.
What did you
I
roll?
got a 10.
Oh, yeah, she manages. A heeled boot makes contact with the center of your chest, and you are flung backwards into the dome of glass that you had been looking in, and you feel it shatter beneath you, and then you're falling through stars. Back in a world a bit more tangible, a bit less gold, a bit less strange. A week has passed since Monty fell into the orb, since he was dragged back from the fire.
What?
A week?
During that week, he has been well looked after in the hospital wing. But you have not seen your friend for a week. You've been wrapped up in the school year starting. You've been wrapped up in your own researches. What would you like to have done during this week of downtime?
You say as if any of us could just leave Monty alone for a week.
I guess my first question would be, was there any response from Monty on the unfeathered sending
Apart
stone?
apart from his very first responses,
Yeah.
no, there would have been no response over the past week.
Okay.
He is breathing, he is alive, and you know that the healers are confused as to why he's still unconscious because there seems to be nothing wrong with him.
Okay.
Right. I mean, Tink will have suitably stressed out about this.
Yeah.
And I imagine for the first like couple days it was probably tough to like leave Monty in that state. And I imagine we've all been going to like check up or try and be like someone is there when he wakes up kind of thing as much as we can.
Yeah.
But my boy had a lot of questions to ask his boyfriend slash husband question mark.
Considering that Belial has been Monty's primary carer, I will say he's been a bit scarce for this past week. You
There.
can indeed have hunted him down if you would have liked to, um, but it would have been snatched moments between shifts.
You are never gonna let me talk to this man. You're never gonna let me talk to him. Ever. You've promised me every week. And I will never be allowed to talk to him again in my life. And he probably would have been keeping an eye on Bernard Stone. And probably otherwise working up in the labs.
That is one thing that I will say. Bernard's stone has not left you. It has remained in your pocket, dull and somewhat lifeless.
Mm-hmm.
As for working in the labs, what is it that you would have liked to have been working on?
I think the instant that he realizes that Bernard Stone has not returned, I think he'd be wanting to like look into it, like see if the connection was severed or what makes this different from our stones that, his has been locked in a magical lockbox and returned to his side in the morning. So what's the difference? And I think he'd probably be working with that and trying to bounce ideas off of Balthazar if he would have it.
I would like you to roll 2 intelligence checks and an arcana check.
Okay, one intelligence check is a natural 20. The other one is a 7.
Beautiful. It's what we like to hear. And the arcana check?
Is a 17.
Okay. The natural 20 that you rolled was for discerning precisely the nature of the stone that you have taken from Bernard. And that is that you, as far as you can tell, magically and function wise, it does appear to be the same as your stones. It reacts the same when you put another stone near it. It reacts the same when others try to hold it.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks visibly duller, as though it's been rolled around in soot for a little while. As for figuring out how it is different, that was your second intelligence check. And you are 100% not sure.
Would I be able to glean anything working from the idea that we've had before that some of the stones are like call and response versus like where ours seem to be the call and some of the other stones seem to be more the response?
You can discern that Bernard's stone definitely has less magical power than the ones that you all and Balthazar possess. Just in that, in the ways that the weave is measured by artificers, it is emitting less weave, less magic than the other stones appear to be. As for its connection to where it sits in the hierarchy of stones that you have theorized, you are uncertain.
Okay.
As for the arcana, you can tell that there appears to be some sort of spell on this stone that is not native to the other stones.
Can I discern a signature, like possibly Abraxas's?
You can roll me another arcana check if you want to check something that specific.
Come on. Ugh, 16.
You think that a case could be made for Abraxas, but you don't know if that is just because you are going into this highly biased.
Okay. But it's the timing matches up, or it seems like a fairly recent addition kind of thing.
It does seem like a recent addition, yes. And Balthazar is 100% not going to disabuse you of the notion that it definitely could have been Abraxas.
Okay.
If anything, the moment you find this out, he spends the entire day muttering about Abraxas.
We're both just like, listen, I know I'm very biased, but it's definitely fucking Abraxas. Not taking like we just this is a real hypothesis where we just have to prove it. Wow, with science, like, but like we know. It's just we don't know, but we do know.
Yulie, what would you like to have done with the week?
Oh gosh. Sorry, I missed everything that's happened so far.
I was gonna say, I feel like Duke's just sat back
I
down.
literally just unmuted.
That's okay. You've had a week of downtime.
Right.
I guess
do I need? Sorry.
Oh, I was just say the one thing that you would have like missed is like Monty is stable, under care, largely under like Belial's care, and
Unconscious and has been for a week.
Yeah. So
Okay. I guess my first question, DM, is do I need to make rolls for the
Yes.
rock in my belly?
Yeah, you do.
That'll
Roll me.
determine how I feel about this week, I guess.
Roll me a wisdom check. Wisdom check or save? Which did I say? Let me check my notes.
A save would be so great.
I
Oh,
feel
well,
like a
then I
save
really.
makes sense, you know?
No,
I
I
think a
really
save
think that
makes
it should be a
sense.
check. I feel like it should be a check.
I, fe-
No,
but I feel like
I said a save. I did say a save.
Can I do a save then, please,
You
DM?
can. Yes, you can.
Am I oh god, am I doing 7 wisdom saves for each day or am I just doing 1?
You can just do one for the week.
Okay.
it's a
Oh,
two.
Is
oh
it a
god.
two?
It was a 2, dude.
We're getting you new
Those-
dice, man.
Yeah, those dice are weighted towards 2. Not
I
good.
get a +5 on wisdom saves. I
God.
hate it here. It's a 7. DM for the week.
A 7 for the week. For the entire week, something feels strange. Something feels different and off and wholly unsettling in a way that you don't quite understand. But what you do understand are the strange dreams that you've been having at night. Dreams of workshops filled with faces that don't appear to be attached to people. Dreams of figures and long hallways and the sound of strange and unfamiliar laughter. Dreams of dancing through clouds to strange music and of waking up over and over and over again.
Can I speculate? And if I need to roll for this, that's fine. Can I
Mm.
speculate that these are Ilya's memories that I'm dreaming about?
Roll perception.
Okay. Uh, 10.
With a 10, you don't notice enough outside of the main thread of these dreams to figure out whether or not they are associated with someone who is not you.
Right. Okay. Um, aside from that, oh my gosh, a whole week? Jeez.
A whole week?
A whole week of things to do. Um, I think if possible, she would want to try to like take advantage of the downtime. I think they're
Mm-hmm.
all exhausted. And if it felt safe to rest a bit, I think she would want to take a day. Um, beyond that, I'm not really sure. I think she would visit, if possible, she would visit Monty just to like check in. But as for like big goals for the week, I don't really know. I feel like that might be a at least from Yulie's perspective, that would be like a group question, or like at the very least she would want to know, what like Yenna and Tink were doing and stuff.
When Yulie visits Monty, I would like you to roll just a straight up arcana.
Okay. Okay. Uh 21. Sorry, math is hard.
With a 21, every time you visit Monty, you feel as though you're in one of those dreams.
Okay.
It's as though the world gets a little bit shaky every time you step into that hospital room. as though the outline of everything trembles just a little bit. Things become unclear. And you hear the sound of voices from down the hall, but when you check, there's no one there.
Um, sorry, just typing. Does this feel similar at all to the way that it felt to us when we were in the hospital wing and all of the loops felt like they were converging a bit? Does it feel like I'm like slightly in another loop sometimes?
Roll perception. Actually, roll investigation.
Okay. Thank you, DM. Oh my god. I don't know what that is. 28? 19 plus 9?
Yeah, that's 28.
Fuck yeah.
With a 28, yes, it definitely, absolutely feels like that.
Okay.
It feels as though when you enter the room with Monty, you are being pulled in different directions of the timeline, and as though Monty is being pulled along with you.
Okay. I would the second I came to that conclusion, I would immediately tell Yenna. um there's probably a moment when Yulie is visiting Monty where it sort of clicks that this is familiar and and she thinks to herself like I need to tell Yenna and would probably go and immediately try to find her. I don't know like whether or not she would know where she is, but
Which is a wonderful segue into Yana. What would you like to do for the week?
Um, I know that there was like equipment and stuff that was supposed to be like getting calibrated and stuff. So she would have probably spent like a non-zero amount of time doing that and then getting really
Hmm.
frustrated and then like having a momentary like she would get mad enough that like she would have those little static shocks going off and being like, what the fuck is that? And it's like fucking with the calibration, so she's getting like increasingly more pissed.
Okay, for the calibration of this equipment that you were gifted by Balthazar,
Hmm.
you have constant access to it because it's in your room.
Right.
So you can just draw an outline of a door and it'll open.
Yeah.
Um, but to see how far along with the calibrations of your gravitational equipment,
Hmm.
roll me an intelligence and an arcana.
Okay. 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 Big Yana stats. Intelligence was not as good as I had hoped. A total of 8.
For the intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay. And for the arcana?
Better. 19 total.
Okay. When it
Oh,
comes to
dirty
pardon?
20. Dirty 20. I forgot proficiency went up.
Okay. All right, a dirty 20. When it comes to actually calibrating the physicality of several of the items that measure directional force and mass and the like, it is incredibly difficult to get those things to a precise measurement. And you try and unfortunately fail with about half of the equipment. The rest of the equipment that is more spell focused, that measures the weave and time dilation, all of which is spellcrafted, you manage to get that calibrated. So half of the equipment is calibrated now and is ready for experiments.
Okay. Getting irritated about it. So she probably is also because she's getting so irritated going to like wherever people go to do damagey spells and not blow up the school.
You know that there are several fighting rooms at the school
Yeah.
that encourage pupil to pupil sparring. There is also the forest out back where a lot of kids go to blow off magical steam.
I think she'd probably go to the forest then. If well, Yeah, no, she goes. She'd want to not be around people. She finds people annoying.
In going to the forest, roll me a survival check.
Oh, God. Hey! The dice are kind. Survival. 17.
Okay, with the 17, you manage to find a decently sized glade that you can set up in and do whatever you would like that is set enough back from the school so as not to catch people's eyes and is also not far enough into the forest to draw unwanted attention.
Yeah. She's probably blowing up rocks. Just raging. And then,
You can 100% start blowing up rocks.
yeah.
Um, this would count as starting to learn to harness her anger.
Okay. Cool. Interesting. Rage on command, not just when actually angry.
Exactly. You are working towards that.
Okay.
To the point where I will say you have 1 point out of 3 that will help you towards managing rage on command instead of randomly.
Alright, cool. There's very much still that, that weird, when she does end up raging, noticing that there's, an extra force that's happening, and she's like, "What the fuck is that?"
It's during this process that Yulie seeks you out, Yenna.
Mhm.
Yulie, would you do so via the stones?
Uh, yeah, probably. I would definitely leave the medical wing first and then pull out the stone and be like, "Hi, sorry to ping everybody. Yenna, are you busy?"
Not really. What's that?
Just hear explosions in the background.
Just hear rocks falling.
um, okay, can we meet up somewhere or I can come to you or
I mean, I'm in the forest right now. Do you want to meet, actually, I was gonna say meet by the lake, but the lake is kind of fucked up, so maybe not there. Where do you want to meet?
uh trying to remember what the map looks like. I mean, I can come to like the edge of the forest.
Okay.
I'll make the trek.
All right, I'll meet you there.
I walk, 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 walk.
Yeah, find my
So
way
you
back out of the forest.
have a clandestine meeting at the edge of the forest. You are far enough away from the rest of the student body going about its day that you could have a secluded conversation here.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah, Yulie I think would uh give her a big hug. Say, I need can I okay, I'm I'm a little worried about this. Yeah, okay. I went to go visit Monty, right? And every time that I
Mhm.
visited Monty, it's felt really strange there and I'm realizing that um I think it's similar to when we were in the wing and all of the loops felt like they were sort of overlapping.
Oh,
Um, I feel like I don't know if it's when I'm in the medical wing or if it's when I'm near Monty, but I feel like I'm getting pulled into another loop or I'm seeing glimpses of another loop, and I think I need to get this rock out of my body. um, do you know a way to do that?
okay. To make sure I don't overreact, does she already know that there's a rock in your body?
I don't know if she does.
Oh, Yulie would have told her for sure. I feel like Yulie would have come out of that place panicking and been like, "Yeah, I ate a rock. Yeah, I ate a rock. Yeah, I ate a magic rock from a bad man."
Oh my god. So Yena's been dealing with that, which is probably a non-zero amount of I'm angry and
Mhm.
I'm going to throw rocks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, surgery is an option, but I don't actually necessarily want you to go into the medical ring right now, based on what you're telling me. That sounds actually fucking stupid. Um,
Like if you're just you know, you're you have a better handle on what spells can and can't do, and I didn't know if there was a way to like vortex warp an item out of a belly or something. I don't.
See the
The
thing.
longer that it's in my body, I think it's starting to do potentially really dangerous stuff to me, which I know we've already talked
Oh,
about, and I know that was like a concern from the get go. But I'm just trying to figure out what I can if I can get this out of me.
okay. Man, my first thought is mage hand. That is a terrible thought. Jesus. Ha. Okay. I mean, I don't think you said it was kind of large, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
yeah, we really need to just get that out of you in not the normal way. Um, we could try talking to a cleric, but I don't want them to touch it. That seems bad, right? Like
I don't know.
any
It's
normal person is a
broken.
problem.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much. Obviously, they have some kind of magic that's innate to them even when they're broken, but I don't know
Yeah.
how bad of an idea it is for anyone else to touch it necessarily. So
Okay. Well, hmm,
I'm just making you guys aware that, Yulie, you do possess a nat 20 and trying to get the stone out of your body if you guys can come up with a plan.
Yeah, the discussion in chat was, I'm heading out, but listen, if you need the nat 20 to get that shit out of there, here it is. So it doesn't matter who uses it. We do have a nat 20 for whatever solution that we come up with.
holy shit. Okay, we just
yeah.
have to come up with a solution that makes
I
any
am
kind of sense.
I am trying to figure out like how could we sense where it is and if we could like really fuckily like vortex warp it without me seeing it, but just knowing where it was like very intimately to the point where like I could theoretically because like
Could it be a
technically
combination of like yes, mage hand would be fucked up, but like could it be mage hand? Like could you find it
I
with mage
I
hand?
would like you both to roll just an intelligence check for me, please.
That means the answer is no, it's a bad idea.
like
That's
Mason's
my
really
favorite.
gross. I really don't like that one.
I got an 11.
I got
I think
I
you might still have inspiration. Maybe it's the time to use it.
I got a 19 on intelligence. Which I feel like is a
Yulie with an 11, you think that the mage hand combination trick is it. You think that that is
Oh
brilliant.
no.
That is
no.
that will work. It will be amazing. Yana, the more you think about this, the more you're like, I don't know anything about the human. Like, well, I mean, I know the basics about the body, but like, I don't know much about the body. Mm. And you start to, think that vortex warp essentially creates a small wormhole that moves people through space and time. Maybe that's not something good to try and do in somebody's, very delicately working body.
Yeah, no, I think either we gotta get that out of you the normal way, which doesn't sound pleasant, honestly,
I
or
mean,
we
it's
have
been a
more.
week at this point.
Yeah, I
So
understand. Look, there biologically bad stuff is already happening, but as far as like how do we get that out? Like, I mean, the normal way is like someone has to go in there and get it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's. I really don't want to talk, man, but we have one qualified person that we know that knows fucking anything about the human body. So, or you know,
But
do you want to find Belial?
y- yeah.
I don't want to explain to somebody why you have a rock inside you that's that big.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, I guess that's hard to explain.
Yeah, and then it's like, hey, it might be magical and weird. Be careful. Like that. There's so many other things that could happen. Like at least theoretically, Belial, like if we have to, we can twist his arm with Tink.
Okay.
Wow.
Right.
Yenna will absolutely blackmail a man to save her girlfriend. Anyway,
There is the possibility that he'll recognize the stone. So we might have. I mean, there's. It might be more explanation, or he might ask more questions than we might be like necessarily prepared to answer. But
that's, I mean, do you want to just grab Tink immediately and make him liaise for us?
Sure, yeah. I'm kind of desperate at this point,
Okay. Hey,
and
Tink,
I'm.
where are you?
Nolani, what have you done with your downtime for this week?
My gosh.
Oh.
So Noelani would probably take in some sort of like Monty shifts, basically, and she keeps trying at the unattached standing stone, which we sort of delineated has no answer. But she
Yeah.
feels kind of guilty, right? Like she is going through it. She's just met all of them, but she feels like maybe Monty being left behind has something to do with her. Um, she would
Oh
have
my
also.
goodness, I don't know what to do with a player character that has guilt.
And she would have also kept the orb. Um, I'm thinking probably asked Balthazar to keep it in his office.
To which he
Just
definitely would have, but is like he grumbles the entire time he's putting it away that he is just becoming a cursed object consortium.
He likes it.
um,
He
yeah, it
does.
keeps
He
him
does
keeps
like
him
it.
busy.
He's very happy to have it because it's interesting.
Yeah, and I think Noelani is also interested, so she would probably spend a better sort of like couple like 3-4 days of the week trying to research, like anything about the orb, like Balthazar
Hmm.
sort of noted that it's sort of like changed its state. So um
Okay,
sort of like yeah.
if you're going to research it, you know that one of the best places to research it would be at the library. If you would like to give me an investigation check to see if you can find any books in the library that mention strange magical orbs, go for it.
That's 10.
Okay, you find several stories that mention strange magical orbs of varying shapes and sizes. Um, you pick about 20 stories. It becomes immediately clear that two-thirds of those have very little bearing on what has happened to you all, unless Monty is about to turn into a ghost, a plant, or a boar. Which, given that he is a druid, is entirely possible. But it quite clearly half of these stories are like fairy tales and legends, and then a good like another percentage is very poorly researched magical conjecture. And
Okay.
then you've got about 3 books that mention magical orbs specifically for mapping the heavens, planes, and worlds of existence.
Perfect. And knowing that, we've sort of like at this point Noelani knows about the perpetual motion machines when she first sort of encountered Yenna and Santhi with one of them.
Hmm.
So she sort of connects. She's like, oh, maybe they're related or something. So she'll take those 3 books sort of back to Balthazar's and sort of like talk with him essentially and be like does any of this make sense? Like could that thing be sort of like a smaller one of those? I mean, the one that I
I
saw was like way more complicated and it opened up, so
I would like you to roll persuasion.
um and I am doing this. I want to point out to the audience that I'm doing this with good intentions. Nolani is trying to like essentially like teacher's pet this situation a little bit because she is legitimately interested in like the studying part of it. Can I use my Fey presence on Balthazar?
Go for it. What do you do?
Um, so as an action, I can cause a creature within 10 cubic feet to make a wisdom saving throw of 16, or they become charmed / frightened by my choice till the end of their turn. So essentially, I want to like charm Balthazar into being like, please tell me about this, to hopefully maybe cause like advantage on persuasion, perhaps.
I just need to make a quick check. Okay, go for it.
Okay. Persuasion at advantage, I guess.
Persuasion at advantage. What exactly do you say?
Not great either way, but she would say something along the lines of like, I've just come here, but this seems so extremely interested. She also wears on her sleeve the whole like faith thing. So she probably like mentions this like where I came from. We don't really have this sort of like multi-level issues. Whatever is going on here with whether it's the timelines that everybody keeps talking about, or maybe if it's something even bigger than that it's causing the whole thing to sort of be upside down. I mean, I'm very interested in it, and you as a professor, of course. I'm sure even if it's not your subject matter, it's probably really interesting for research purposes, right? And it was a 10 persuasion.
He kind of looks to the orb, to the stack of books that you've brought in, and then looks back at you, and then to a ratty journal on the corner of his desk, and leans forward and laces his fingers together. I really don't think that this is something that we should discuss one-on-one. I can appreciate your curiosity, but we should maybe get the others who have a multitude of specialities so that we can run this together.
Oh,
Doesn't that's think of it as a think tank, a thought experiment.
yeah, great. Yeah. And Nolani quickly realizes that her stone doesn't work on their network on this plane's network for the stones. Yeah, I can go find them. I mean, they gotta eat lunch or something, even if I haven't really seen them in the cafeteria or anything. But yeah, I'll go get everybody, and I will try to locate Yana, Yulie, or Tank around campus.
Nolani, you find Iena and Yulie towards the edge of the forest, wherein they are discussing finding Tink for medical reasons.
Oh, 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 hey, you guys are here. Great. I just talked to Baltasar. I learned some stuff about the orb. What are you guys doing? You should probably take your hands off of Yulie's mouth, Yenna.
I. Mm, Hi.
What?
What?
Well, I've been investigating the orb, that thing that transported us over, and I think
Yeah.
I think I discovered something. I mean, I just had to read a lot of stories, but basically, maybe it has something to do with the timelines and everything. And so I took it to Baltasar, and then he said he wants to discuss with everyone as a thought experiment. So I think maybe there's some extra credit involved in that. But either way, he just said to get you guys. So here I am. Have you guys seen Tink?
We were just calling him.
Yeah, we were just looking for him. So
It's at about that point where you hear like a tiny whisper in your sending stones that's just like, Nolani's on the way. That is Balthazar.
For the warning!
yep, she found us. So
Oh, good. Bye.
Bye.
We'll see you soon, apparently.
There
My
is no
dad.
response. There is no response to that.
Monty wakes up just to be like, "Hey, Dad."
Anyways, still going to be like, "Take, where are you?"
Labs.
Labs? Okay.
I
Do you
assume.
know where Belial is?
Not really. Probably with Monty. Or sleeping. I think that's about it for him right now.
Way to call him, maybe. Do you think you could call him? Not for like an emergency or anything. Just out of curiosity. Like, how
It's an emergency.
difficult is it for you to get a hold of him?
It is an emergency.
No, it's not. It's not a big deal. It's just if you have an easy way to talk to him. Do you have that? Is that a thing that you can do?
There's
a very heavy sigh that is quite obviously Balthazar on the stone.
there's a long pause. So it's like Balthazar's sigh. Tink, like, long pause. And then I mean, I can call him, but I should only do so in case of an emergency.
I need to get the stone out of my belly. It's starting to make me slip into other loops, I think, and I'm really freaking out. And I want Yenna to help me. And we were thinking maybe we could talk to Belial about it, because if I go to the medical wing, it gets worse. So do you think that's could you please call him? It's not an emergency. I'm just really freaking out, and I just think that maybe Belial could help, please.
Yeah, what she said.
Yulie, take a breath. You should all come up to the workshops.
Yeah, I'll give him a call.
Thank
Everything's
you.
gonna be alright.
Yulie will put her stone away, look at Yenna, and be like, "Sorry, I panicked."
I mean, I think that expressed the urgency that was necessary.
Yeah, she'll look at Nolani. Sorry. That happens sometimes. This is a more extreme example of how I deal with stress. So
That's totally fine. I mean, it's pretty stressful to have that stone still in there. Um yeah, I hope they have the answer. I mean, and she'll workshop with you guys as we talk, as we walk, and
Yeah.
be like, I mean, I have water abilities, so maybe we could use that to our advantage and make it more pleasant. I don't know if it's really going to be pleasant either way, but at least we can get it out of you.
Yeah, that would be good.
As the DM,
Also-
I would just like to say I hate this conversation. Thank you for making it.
As everyone's coming up, if Tink sticks his head in the workshop, and he's just like, do I have to call him? I probably have to call him, right? Like, this is probably a thing.
Balthazar is sitting at the workshop counter with his head in his hands, and he just peers at you through one of his fingers, and it's just like, you should call him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I just wanted to. I'll call him. And he'll go back into the hallway.
Yeah. While they're walking back, would be also very interested in the fact that Noelani's independently researching things. It's like, oh, so that's interesting that you have learned things.
So what are you finding out? Just Yulie
Yeah.
fucking freaking out beside her.
Yeah, and Noelani will freely offer. She's like, well, you know how I found that other orb, and then we touched it. Of course, we were all there.
Mhm.
But so
Yeah,
so I
that
was
orb.
yeah, so I was just wondering, if it was related to the one that you had, when we first met. And in finding all that, I found these books, and there were some interesting stories, especially on a cultural approach, and just how people view the world, and sort of what happens to our bodies after we die. But in general, there was these three ones that talked about mapping worlds and planes and heavens and those connections there.
Oh.
So I took it to Baltasar, and then that's what he said, come get you guys. It seems like maybe he has some information that he wants to share, and maybe like we can work on it together. I just think, in a place of such knowledge, and in a situation where we found ourselves with something so uh poorly researched, really. I mean, if there's nothing in the library about it to start with, so
The library here is kind of shit, actually.
oh
It's
well,
not helpful.
that's not great. We should
Yeah.
like say
Yana,
something to the administration.
Yana, as you
Yeah.
listen to all of this, I would like you to roll history when Nolani mentions the afterlife, different planar dimensions, and the orb.
Okay, what am I rolling? I'm so sorry.
History.
He's 3. Oh, like a million. Um, 25.
Oh, like a million, yeah.
Yeah, like a million.
Um,
I got a
you are
couple things that are good.
you are familiar with a story that ties in actually to one of the other ones that you were told about
Mm.
the mother and daughter who died,
Mm-hmm.
and that where they lay was now a Red Sea.
Right.
That the father of that girl had cried thousands of tears full of stars, and that
Okay.
another story referenced those tears of stars as though they were looking glasses into the netherworld.
Oh,
And if you
okay.
looked through them, you could see those who had died.
Oh, that's so spooky. I don't like that correlation with things. Okay, okay. Cool. Yeah, I will be pondering that because I she has this lore stuff, but it's just like these are legends, these are stories. So I don't know if she would share that immediately. She's gonna want to talk to either probably Balthazar or Hyungli Hyungwoo, sorry about it. About just to be like, do I remember this correctly?
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a lot of lore. And
So as you walk towards the workshops and you find the classrooms nice and toasty compared to the autumn air outside, Tink, are you calling Belial?
Yeah. Very reluctantly, but yes.
What do you say?
Um, I think just like, hey, are you busy right now? We might have a bit of a we might need your help with something soon, very soon.
Is it a medical emergency or can it wait?
Uh she's insisting it's not an emergency, but I think it might.
I'll be there in just a second. And hangs up the line, hangs up the
Yeah.
stone. You get the impression he is immediately on his way over. The moment you said she and thinks it's not an emergency in the same sentence, his doctor brain kicked in.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
but those of you who are climbing up the stairs towards the workshop, I would like you to roll perception.
What about those of us making a phone call in the hallways?
You can also make a perception roll if you would like to, Tank.
A 15?
natural 20.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thank
Yes.
God.
Can see a thing.
It's a 9 for Noelani.
13.
So,
Nothing.
everybody but Tink and Nolani you get this creeping feeling up the back of your neck,
Mm.
like fear raising goosebumps on skin. And you see something move out the corner of your eye, and notice that you are being followed by Abraxas. Over in the medical wing, in the still of his room, Monty wakes. And that's where we're going to leave it for the week.
God damn it.
How
How
dare
dare
you?
you? Every time.
Thank you all so much for joining us. I hope that you have enjoyed watching as much as we have enjoyed playing. And we will be back same D&D time, same D&D channel next week. If you like what you have watched this afternoon/evening, please consider giving us a follow or maybe a subscribe. We do a lot of things. It's not just Hellions. There are other shows. It's a lot of fun. Um, we had a couple of ongoings. I know Manhattan is over now.
Yeah, we just finished up. Mods are
Yeah,
available for the whole
so
thing.
sad.
Yeah. But it was good.
We have a new show starting tomorrow.
Oh, we
Ooh.
do.
We
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
we do.
We do. Which if you follow us on either Twitter or are in our Discord, you've seen all of the character art that Fabs has been dropping. And that show is another Vampire the Masquerade set in Itaewon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a one by night, and it's at 8 p.m. ET on Tuesdays, and it'll be running from now for the next few weeks, I believe.
Mhm.
And it's gonna be good, so you should definitely check that out. I would also like to give a thank you to our patrons, who are extremely kind people who support the show. Without you guys, we would not be able to do anything. So thank you very, very much. Um, I also encourage you all at home to check out our Discord if you would like to. We have a lot of lovely and wonderful people there who discuss lovely and wonderful things, including but not limited to artwork, D&D, and the occasional pet photo goes up, which always brightens my day. And we will see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Keep rolling.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.